welcome everyone. I want to welcome everyone here with my love and my respect. Um, things I'd like to talk about. It's been on my mind for a while. Like I said, time, dear, working, and everything else that life kind of gets in the way. But no, this is really time because you look on the YouTube, you look on all the internet, everywhere, the news, everything is. There's always concerns about race, concerns about ethnicity, concerns about nationality, concerns about gender, and it's just a lot of division, a lot of division among us. And this is a very pertinent subject, talking about these things. I've been wanting to do it for a while. Finally, you know what? Today I'm just going to do it. Things that concern us all, and the thing that I want to talk about transcends every difference among us, because what's different among us is not necessarily the important thing. What's our similarities? And the thing I want to talk about today is what does it mean to be human? What does it mean to be a human? Well, for me, the way my brain works is to solve a problem, I first have to know the components of the problem that you're trying to solve. Um, to separate the things that you can change from the things that you can't change. So, first of all, let's start off with the definition. What does it mean to be human? What is the dictionary definition of human? On first glance, first look, it's an adjective. So it's describing the noun, it's describing the person. So a human is, in the dictionary, I'm going to read it here, of or pertaining to the social aspect or character of man. And this is man, woman, child. It's transcending the barriers that we socially have placed upon everything. This is humankind, of or pertaining to the social aspect or character of man. So it's referring to a character. Okay. So human is a character trait. So we'll read down to the next definition. It says sympathetic and humane. So that is the character that it's describing, the capacity for sympathy, the capacity to be humane. Now, you're not going to be walking around feeling sorry for everything. That's not what it's saying. But the capacity to show compassion, the capacity to see someone lesser than you, to give them a hand up, to see somebody that's different from you, and to try to understand, oh, why are you here? What put you, no, it's to understand this person, to understand that the circumstance of events, that's the way they process their issue. Everyone processes things in a completely different way. But this is referring to the capacity of character, the capacity for sympathy, the capacity to be humane. So therefore, look at the definition. What is humane? Humane is characterized by tenderness, compassion, and sympathy for man and animal. And this is every living thing. The capacity for compassion and sympathy for every living creature. Because understanding every living creature is on its own form of evolution, if you will. Everything, like I said, I heard this one is a very interesting thing that I've heard. What is the center of the universe? At the very center of the universe is wherever you are. You are the center of your universe. To a fly, to a dog, to a cat, to a person, to a baby, to anyone, the most important thing is their life, their own existence, because we just have that built into us, is the survival. And you could say, the ultimate show of love is when you can put someone else in front of yourself. You, like a mother to a child or a parent to a child, I would put myself in harm's way, or to a loved one or to a friend or anyone. I would put myself in harm's way so that person didn't get hurt. That is the ultimate capacity of love, what love is. So that is the ultimate definition of humanity, if you will. So, start off at the basic, very beginning. The three kingdoms of what this planet is made of: the mineral kingdom, the vegetable kingdom, the animal kingdom. Well, all things have a degree of consciousness. Everything has a degree of consciousness. Everything, obviously, all living things have a degree of consciousness. I'm not 100% sure about minerals and things like this, but I would say all living things have a degree of consciousness. You take a plant, put it in a shady spot, under your deck or put somewhere, like we've all seen this before, and the plant will actually grow towards the light. It grows towards light. So it's aware of light. So it's aware of its own existence. It's aware that the roots will reach towards the water. A tree, the trees will go down to, if you a lot of moisture in the ground, the trees will go all the way down. The roots will seek out water. So they have an awareness to them. They are not as emotionally or adapted to feel like they do not have a brain. They do not have an central nervous system. They do not have the capacity for showing emotion. They do not have the capacity for empathy. They do not have the capacity of caring, because they do not have a central nervous system. They do not have feelings. They do not have emotions. So that goes back to places into the animal kingdom. Anything in the animal kingdom does have that capacity, if for nothing else, at least for themselves. Even a shrimp, you try to catch it, it's going to run away from you. It has a sense of itself. It has a sense of trying to protect itself or to run away from danger or harm. It has the desire to procreate, to pass on its offspring, to secure its own existence. You see, so animals and living things in the animal kingdom do have the capacity for emotion to some degree, varying degrees, many different varying degrees. And that's where you start looking at everything has a conscious evolution to it. And animals care for their young. They look out for their young. Some animals have their young and look after them, and then they leave them to fend for themselves. And mammals, for example, mammals actually care for the young. They nurse them. They have more of an intimate connection with their babies and their young. They care for them, and they show more love. Therefore, they have the more capacity for being fierce or for being violence, because if somebody would harm their young ones or harm the things that they care about, they have that capacity. So with the capacity for love also comes the capacity for hate. Everything has a flip side. Everything is dual, you see. Everything has duality. The day, the night, the light, the dark, the man, the woman. The goal, what we try to talk about as being human, is to transcend those things. See? And that's what I like. That's the kind of topic my starting point where I'd like to talk about this thing, is transcending the animalistic nature part of ourselves to become something more, because we have these tendencies, we have this in our nature to be this way, but to transcend this, to be more. So, some animals portray varying degrees of sympathy and kindness. You would say like a wild animal, like a tiger or a lion or a wolf, or you could say like those are predatory animals. They may have compassion for their animal. I mean, in their family structures, they're loving and tender and kind. Watch a baby lioness with her cub. I mean, just the tenderness and kindness. But beyond what's immediately close to her, not going to show much tenderness to a baby deer. It's not going to show much tenderness to any other animal. Not like a dog or a cat, like a pet, an animal that's a pet. They have more of a capacity for you would say more human. They're more human than you would say a wild animal. So they have more consciously evolved to love humans, to love things, and you would say, like I say, it's a much deeper subject. There's a much deeper subject we can go into here, but I just want to stick to the track of what I'm trying to say here. Everything is on a different level, varying degrees of the conscious evolution. But us, human beings walking on this planet, we are the most evolved. We are the most consciously evolved of the animal kingdom here. Our capacity for emotion is far beyond most animals. So therefore, that's what it means to be human. That's what it means to be human. And it's because of our capacity for love. It's because of that capacity that makes us so great. That is what makes us the most advanced of the animal kingdom. That's what makes us so advanced, is our capacity for feeling, our capacity for emotion. So if we lose that capacity, if we don't transcend our animalistic nature, if we don't act upon that human part of us, and then we are less than what we are capable of being, then we're just a step above. We're just a step above a beast. So that being said, in ancient times, I'm talking about ancient Greece, ancient Egypt, all these thousands and thousands of years ago in our existence, it is said that a man existed on 3 different planes. 3 different planes is, we're talking about dimensions of existence. 3 different planes. We are man, the physical body. We are man, the intellect. And we are man, the immaterial body, which is our energy body. Man, the physical. Man, the intellectual. Man, the spiritual, if you will. Spiritual kind of has soul, or spirit kind of has a lot of debate, I just will say, man, the energy body. So, well, we know that the physical body, or what we can see, our physical form, it is bound to this place. It is bound to the earth. It is of the earth. It is an earthen vessel, and it's bound to here. And it's a sensory base, so whatever our senses can gather in and bring in, that's how we navigate around this earth with. So, and it's bound to this 3D existence. It's a sensory-based reality. And I always like to say, I'll use this analogy to when I talk to people. It's you and I can go arm in arm to a concert, eat the same food, drink the same drinks, hang out with the same people, listen to the same music, and walk away with a completely, totally different experience, completely. And the reason why is that every experience, every circumstance that we go through has to be cognized by our own emotions, by our own past. It's subject to our cognition. And therefore, that's how come you can have so many different experiences. As many humans as there are, as many different experiences as there can be. So, that being said, is that what we perceive with our 5 senses is what we perceive to be real. And we navigate around this. So we have the physical body, which is just a sensory-based body. And then you have the intellectual body. And the intellect, or the mind, I would call it the mind. The mind isn't necessarily true or false. The mind it stores information, it makes decisions, it learns, it adapts, it's a ever-growing, but it's not always true, because you can dream things that aren't you. Maybe you can see things that you want to be, or things that you desire, but it's not necessarily reality-based. It's, look at it like the computer, look at it like the analogy I like, look at it like a computer program. The mind is the processor. The mind is the one that does the computing, the storing the information, and our bodies is like the hardware of the computer, the keyboard, the monitor, the part of the working body, the part that you actually see, but the processor is the mind. But that leaves you with the last plane of existence we talk about is the energy body. So to first identify who we are, we don't even know who we are. Am I the body? And that's what I see, and that's what we all relate to. That's what we take care of. That's what we pamper. That's what we dress it up and give it all the attention, and the hair, and the nails, and everything. We baby it and pamper it. Is that truly who we are? Or we go to school and we study, and we learn all these things, and we become so smart and so intelligent on how to do this and know how to do that. But is our mind, is that who we are? And we go to our energy body. It's a part of us that we can't see. It's a part of us that it's so up for debate in religion. And countless religions across the world try to put their finger on it. Countless religions try to explain it. But still, I would say religion is not spirituality. And religion tries to explain it what spirituality is, and it's just open to a whole other form of confusion and control and everything. So we're not going to steer clear of religion. We're not going to talk about religion here at all. It's not what this is about. This is about humans and humanity, what it means to be human. So we say this energy body dwells on the energy plane, the celestial plane, if you will, divine plane. The physical body is bound to this plane. The mental body, the intellect, is what bridges the gap between the two. So the mind can partake in both existences. The mind is here on this planet, helping us navigate around this world and circumstances. What's danger? I want to advance myself. Everything is on a state of trying to expand itself and be better. Everything is trying to be the best version of itself. And the mind is the part that we've been given to help us do that, to help us learn, to help us gain experiences, to help us learn and to make decisions and to find out those that would help us on our way. The mind is the part that helps us to get where we want to go, helps us form conclusions, help us learn, helps us everything. So the mind is a very important aspect, because the mind is like the motor that's going to help you get to where you want to go. So but that's why it's so important. It's so important because we live here in the physical plane, our bodies. A part of us is our energy body, is where that's where the mystery lies. And the mind is what bridges the gap. The mind, that's why it's so important to maintain a healthy mind, because a healthy mind is you need focus. You can't be driven by every single emotion, every single circumstance that comes your way, just jerked here, jerked there, just given over to being angry, given over to happiness and anger and sadness and everything, every emotion imaginable. You can't be jerked around by them. The mind has to be focused and disciplined, and not giving over to sense gratification. Enjoy the sense. This is a beautiful place. It's a beautiful planet. It's a beautiful experiences that we have, but not given over to them. And I think that's why it's so important to control the mind. So important to harness it, because without it, you won't be able to focus. You won't have the ability to get from point A and run the long race to get to your desired goal. A lot of people start things. Everyone starts things, but it's tough, it's hard. He told me no, she shut me down, I can't get to it. And very successful people don't look at it as failure. There is no failure. There is just, I found 999 ways to not do it. All you need is one way. I forget where I heard it from. You fall down 7 times, you get up 8. Just keep getting up. Failing is, you know what, I'm done. You walk away from it, turn your back on it, and then you leave. Then it dies. Then whatever it was that you're trying to do, it died. And that's failing. Failing is giving up. Failing is walking away. But with the focus of mind, if you really want something, you will dedicate your life to it, and you will achieve it. If you put your mind to it, you will achieve. That is the power of the mind. That's why it's so important to keep a healthy mind. Okay. Now, the interesting part is, of the 3 bodies of existence that we live in, which one are we? What is our true essence? And that could be a sort of a mystery, you know? I mean, am I the body? Am I the mind? Or am I the energy? Well, let's look into the mind. The mind is the ability to discern, the ability to learn, the ability to gather information, the ability to make decisions, the ability to navigate through the obstacles that life throws at us. But in and of itself is not life. It doesn't contain life. It just helps us navigate. It's the navigation system. It's the GPS system. So in and of itself is not the mind, and the mind is not always subject to reality. There's people that suffer from delusions, there are all kinds of mental illnesses. People think they're way better than what they are. People who are they have super extremely low self-esteem. There's all kind of manner of unhealthy states of mind. So the mind in and of itself does not carry life. So we are not the mind. We can rule the mind out. And that brings us up to the body. Now the body, that's what we see. That's what we feel with. It's all around us. That's what I see. That's how it feels. I feel sad. I feel angry, and I feel joy. I feel happiness. I feel love. But all these things. But then you look when someone dies, everything that person is, their blood, their bones, their skin, their hair, everything that I see standing in front of me is laying there in a box, or laying there on the ground. But they're not moving. There's no energy, and then there's no spark. But everything that person was is there, minus the animation, minus something that was moving them. And they even say, here lies the body of such and such. So that's the body of so and so. So therefore, where is so and so? Who is so and so? So what's missing? What part of us, what part of us does the life dwell? We can only speculate. We don't know where life comes from. We don't necessarily know where life goes when it's not in the body. We just know that it does come and it does go. I think it would be safe to say that life is like an energy flowing through a light bulb. The energy that's flowing through the light bulb eventually wears down the light bulb. The light bulb will eventually wear out, and the components of the light bulb fail. The energy doesn't fail. The energy just doesn't go to the light bulb anymore, because the light bulb has no capacity to harness. The light bulb has no capacity to harness the energy anymore, and it becomes not used. So the energy goes to wherever else is needed. So, it is the electricity that gives the light. It's the energy, the electricity or the energy that gives the light, not the light bulb. And applying that to ourselves, so it is our energy body that holds the life, because the energy is synonymous with electricity. So energy is what holds the life. Like a battery like a cell phone, or a battery to any mechanical thing that's not plugged directly into an electrical circuit. The battery is what gives life to the piece of hardware. So the battery is the energy source. So the life lies in the battery, not the piece of hardware. And our bodies are nothing more. Look at it like a computer system. Our body is the hardware. Our mind is the software. The electricity is the energy. So that to me, that holds true. That's scientific. That holds true. The bulb harnesses the light for a while, but the bulb wears out. The bulb dies. The energy goes elsewhere, wherever it's needed. So to me, that helps me wrap my mind around it, keeping focused on the thing. That helps my mind keep on track with it. So our essence is not the mind. Our essence is not the corruptible body. And corruptible means changeable. Because look, you were born as a teeny little infant, just being able to be held with just a few pounds in the one arm of a mother or father. Then you say, yes, that's me. Look at all the pictures laid out of your life. Oh, that's me as a child. Oh, that's me as I'm walking. That's me as a teenager. Me as a young adult. They're all you. But they're all changed. They're not the same. You were only 2 feet tall, then you're 6 feet tall, then you change. We're changeable. The body's corruptible. It changes. But through all that change, you still say, that's me, that's me, that's me, that's me. They're all you. But there's something more. So if you were just that body would be what it is and would not be changeable. But the body is just, it evolved to something greater, and eventually it goes downhill and it ceases to exist. So therefore, the old ancient saying coming also, it says, that which is made can be unmade. That which is not made lives forever. So the body is formed, the body is made, it changes. So therefore, because it changes, you know that it is corruptible. If it is corruptible, if it can die, it never had life. So it doesn't have life in it. You would say the thing that is alive is like a battery into a piece of hardware, like we talked about before. So I would say the essence of who we are lies in our energy body. So we are the energy flowing through the body, brings us to that point. We are the energy flowing through the body, the essence of life. We are life. So when you say when I talk about I'm not talking about the body. We talk about our personality, our character, our emotions, all the things that we are. The capacity for love, the capacity for sympathy. I'm talking about being human. The capacity for these things comes from the energy body, because that is where life comes from. We are the energy flowing through the body. The same energy that makes up this universe, because there is only energy. There is only life. My energy isn't different than the energy that's flowing through the wall or the energy that comes from a star. It's just energy. So that same energy that keeps the tree alive, that keeps the animal alive, that keeps a star burning, keeps our sun warming our galaxy, is the same energy that's flowing through me. I'm just a diluted form of it. That's why a lot of ancient customs used to worship the sun. They worshiped celestial beings, and were they wrong? It's speculation. Who knows? I'm not arrogant enough to say yes or no. All I know is energy, and the same energy that the sun has, the same energy that's flowing through the tree, the same energy that is flowing through every living creature is flowing through me. And it's not my life. It's just is life, and I am tapped into it. So our bodies are vehicles to navigate the environment. Our minds learn the best way to do so and to record our experiences here. And our spirits are the life that really makes all things possible. Our spirit, our energy is really what makes it all possible. And our spirits are the ultimately the ones that harness the benefits or the detriment from whatever kind of life that we live. Ultimately, because when it's all said and done, the body ceases to exist. We still have our memory. We still have our spirit that recorded the life that we lived. And was I more human at the end of my life? Am I more human than when I started out, or am I less human than when I started out? Did I behave in a way that would further evolve my consciousness, or did I behave in such a way that diminished my conscious evolution? Because it can go both ways. I heard it said once that to be just the fact that we are humans, even the worst kind of human, just the fact that we are humans speaks volumes to our conscious evolution, our capacity for feeling, our capacity for emotion. Some people's emotions, they can't, because of the weakness of the mind, they don't control their emotions. They let their emotions control them. So therefore, like I said, there's no sense in being. You have to nurture all three, and all three grow at different rates. You can have a 40-year-old man with the emotional capacity of a 5-year-old. You can have an 80-year-old with the intellectual capacity of a first grader, so they all three grow at different rates, and they all three need attention. And when all three are in alignment, when all three are mind, body, we talk about these things, but really understanding them, mind, body, and soul align with the same purpose, as that is how you achieve greatness. Not just greatness of wealth, not just greatness of intellect, but greatness of just to be the best version of yourself. Because everything on this universe, everything on this universe is expanding at a very rapid rate, and even more faster now than what it was. Everything is expanding. That's why we start off with, we come into this world with nothing, and we learn what kind of people we are. We learn what kind of people we want to hang out with. If I'm going to be a basketball player, I want to be the best basketball player. We're capable of phenomenal things. Some of these sports figures are just the things they can do, just unbelievable. just throw a few names: Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan. There's some of the ones: Shaquille O'Neal, Charles Barkley. Just the way their bodies could perform. They were just athletes that that they weren't just they maybe had some natural talent, but they were there and practiced earlier in front of everyone, before everyone, late at night when everyone else was tired. They were still there, just night after night, after day after day after day. They wanted to be the best at what they did, and they were expanding themselves. And that's why 100 years from now, people will still be speaking their names. Great people that have accomplished great things. Years from now, people will still be speaking their names because they became something more than just themselves. And they belong to everyone, you see. And they become inspirations that people want to. So that is, the human body is capable of these things. And same thing with the intellect, same thing. And so it's the mental drive, it's the capacity for. It's not that they had more capacity, they just focus their mind more, is what it comes to. The mind is the driving force that's going to get you to where you want to go. And that's very important, because the mind is what bridges the gap. If you don't have a bridge, you're just stuck. So everything succeeds or fails in the mind, and that's kind of where I'm trying to go. The mind is is what's going to navigate you to where you want to go, but the true essence of who you are is your energy body. So aligning all three, nothing is standing still. Everything is moving. Nothing is standing still. So what does this mean? What does it mean now, going back? What does it mean to be human? To me, it means an infinite celestial being living inside a temporary finite vessel with no memory of who or what we were or what we are, with the purpose of finding out who we are and what we're doing here. To me, that's what it means to be human. It's our capacity to love and our capacity to care and our capacity to feel that leads us to our very existence, that led us to our very existence to stand here this day. To be a human, it's our capacity for these things is what led us to be a human. Our conscious evolution has led us so far that we can stand here today and manifest ourselves as human. Our capacity has grown so much that we can be a human. To live less than that, to live less than being a human, to live less than that capacity, to turn our back on that capacity, is to take a step backwards from being a human. Is to take a step backwards from our own conscious evolution, to leave our own consciousness behind. So therefore, to not love, to focus on the differences among us, to shun people because of the differences, to hate someone because of the differences, that is being less than human. And we're not guaranteed to go forward in our evolution. Sometimes things go backward in evolution and then they cease to exist, they become extinct. So that being said, thinking about it like that, it kind of makes you think things differently, because hate never overcame hate. Think about it. Everyone is only one circumstance away from becoming a monster. And I come home, find my wife and my children dead, laying on the floor. Everything, every fiber of my being would have to not go look for the person that did this and do the same thing. And then, so everyone is one circumstance away from becoming a monster. No, no one's better than anybody. They're just those people that focus their mind. And there's something Jordan Peterson said. He's talking about a financial thing, I think, and he was talking about, but to just walk around being soft. You can't walk around this world being soft either. Just walk around being soft, and when the time comes, I'll be tough. No, learn how to be a monster. Know what it takes to be a monster. Then control it. Control it. Control the emotions. And that was a very wise saying. I like that. And there's a saying. I'll finish up with this. There's a saying from the Deepak Chopra wrote this book, and it's a book of talking about the enlightenment of Buddha. And something Buddha said, a quote from Buddha, it says, hate never overcame hate. Hate follows the oxen like the wheel follows the cart. Yeah, it's just hate perpetuates itself. The only thing that ever overcame hate is love. And speaking from a documentary that I watched, there's a civil war in Africa, and this one tribe overcame and killed this one woman, killed her husband, killed her sons, killed everyone. She had nothing left. Then years and years later, the war was over, and the man, there's the ironic that the man that actually killed her family got reunited with her, and he had to apologize to her. And then what they do, they hooked up the two sides together, the sides that were fighting, and they paired them up. They paired them up in the side, and they helped each other to rebuild their own lives. For the rest of his life, he's devoted to that woman, making sure she has food, making sure she has shelter, making sure all these things, because he took away from her something that you can never give back. And she had to, she had hate in her heart toward him, but over the course of weeks and months, do you let the hate destroy you? Do you lose your humanity? Or do you accept it, the horrible thing that happened, and learn to love again? Because is that what humanity? I mean, learning to love in the face of hate, that is transcending hate. You're not letting that circumstance destroy you. You are cutting your ties to it, and a horrible thing happened. Humans are capable of terrible and great things. To walk through this planet, to walk through all the hard circumstances that life gives to you, at the end of your life, to be more than what you walked in with, to be changed for the better. To me, that's what it means to be human. Love one another, be safe. Don't fight for sense gratification. Fight for consciousness elevation. Because at the end, that's what's going to perpetuate a better existence for our children and our grandchildren. And for whatever lies next, we don't know. And I'm going to finish with that. Thank you for listening, and have a nice day.